I've no doubt Tsolo's about to give it 10 popcorns, the much anticipated film Ford vs. Ferrari that we've just reviewed. Without a doubt, one to look out for as it opens today in cinemas, especially if you are a petrol head. So the movie gives us insights, as we've just heard, into the automotive racing industry in the 60s, a really crazy time. And one fascinating fact about the film is that some of the cars featured in it were actually manufactured right here in Mzansi. So Tsolo was lucky enough to get to ride in some of the race cars and experience all things motorsports at an awesome track day held ahead of the film's premiere earlier this month.
Starring Matt Damon and Christian Bale, the film Ford vs. Ferrari has already opened in cinemas in Mzansi and is making waves. It follows the story of the legendary Ferrari Shelby and his driver Ken Miles. And if you're wondering what we're doing here today, well, we're about to get a first-hand track experience in some of the cars featured in the film. Peter, as someone who's been in the automotive industry for decades now, how have the likes of Ferrari Shelby and Ken Miles played a part in your automotive career?
Oh, look, they've definitely played an important part. I mean, from when I was a little kid, I wanted to race. But in the early 60s, Shelby got it right. He took the European sports cars, which were the better size, the better handling cars, but with the small engines. And he went and he put a big American V8 of a lump into it and made the car that much more competitive. And he changed the face of racing. He changed the face of fast cars. So has it influenced my life? Absolutely.
What is today all about and what can we expect to experience?
Okay, so the object of the exercise today and what we're doing is giving guys like yourselves an opportunity to go around the track in cars like these so they can see what it's like, experience what it's like, and importantly, to start to understand what the Shelby brand is. The Shelby brand is just so big worldwide. Although it's new in South Africa, it's been around for decades.
Man, what an exhilarating experience. If you're a petrol head, you definitely have to come down to this race course and try one of these babies out. It felt like I was actually racing in the movie. No wonder people get addicted to these cars. I'm definitely gonna try them out again. So I initially thought today was just about test driving a few cars from the film, but no, it's an entire track experience. And on the menu is go-karting, and I'm always up for that. I must say this time around though, it was a little bit more difficult than I thought it was. It's obvious I haven't done this in a while. I came second last. But anyway, overall experience, 10 out of 10. What I find most fascinating about this film is that all the Ford cars in the movie are produced right here in PE in South Africa. Like this GT40, which is an exact replica of the main car in the movie, also proudly locally produced. Jimmy, how did it feel like having this movie franchise ask you to make these cars for this film?
Big surprise for us because there was no one announced beforehand, so we weren't contacted to say, well, prepare cars for next year. They approached our dealership in America to see what they had. Then they realized they needed the exact ones made for the lead parts. So they called us and we had to build them in a rush and get them over to America.
How was it like building the replica of the GT40 that we see in the actual movie, and how long did it take?
Yeah, you know, it depends on what the pressure is. Normally they'll take about 8 to 10 weeks. When the pressure's on, everyone climbs in and you get it done about 5 weeks because every single part is manufactured. There's not a single part on the car we don't manufacture.
What exactly is this GT40 that we're standing next to going to be used for?
This car is going to be auctioned next year to raise funds to bring 3 or 4 young aspiring engineers through their training, possibly starting with youngsters still at school. Identify youngsters from a background that wouldn't allow them to grow, and then mentor them through their schooling, mentor them through the university training, whatever it might take, and even mentor them at a factory. And so it depends on how much comes in, this is how much can go out.
The race car simulator was an experience like no other. You know, I thought being a gamer myself, enjoying a bit of PlayStation here and there, I'd be able to wing it, but I was in for something else. It's so sensitive, and it really gives you an insight into how it is to be a real moto car race driver. Man, I must say, what a learning curve today has been. I mean, who'd have thought that cars in a Hollywood blockbuster would be produced right here on South African soil? What a story to be proud of. Talking about stories, if you haven't yet checked out the film Ford versus Ferrari, do yourself a favor and go check it out. This one is guaranteed not to disappoint.